How's it going, everyone? It's Gavin from Balls to You. A couple of weeks ago, probably even 3 to 4 weeks ago now, I was away, came back, the HQ's got its own separate fuse board. Well, that had tripped out. Everything was stone cold. We're talking it was down to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Major panic stations. All the snakes were freezing cold. They're all at the back trying to get on the heat, and obviously there was no heat. The incubator had also gone off, and again that was really down to about 60 degrees as well. The incubator pretty much is set at 89 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit. This is something that you guys need to plan for. In the UK, we don't suffer really bad from our power going off for a long period of times. But if you do live in an area that may happen, then you need to have some sort of action plan in place. I was away on business, 24, 48 hours basically I was gone for, came back, the HQ was all tripped out, the house was okay, but obviously the HQ had tripped out, and it was obviously something that had tripped it off. Now, checked all the electrics, everything was all okay, there was nothing, there's not a stat or anything that did that. First thing I did, obviously I've got some mini fan heaters, so I had a couple of them, so I managed to plug them in, switch them on. Obviously all the racks are trying to get up to temperature. I was pretty happy with the snakes. Again, the snakes I wasn't too concerned about, it was more so the incubator. I hear you ask, why wasn't I concerned about the snakes? There's a little theory that I've proven out, and this is a perfect opportunity to prove it out again. People worry about when their snakes get cold that they are prone for respiratory infections. Well, that's not the case. If that was the case, why is it then we hibernate certain animals like reptiles, including some species of snake? When we bring them back up to temperature, they don't actually get a respiratory infection. Well, that's because their immune system is healthy. The snake is healthy. So the long and short of it is, if you've got a healthy snake with a good immune system, it doesn't really matter if the temperatures drop for a short period of time. Gauge at about 48 hours. With the snakes, they were stone cold, but it sort of put them into a trance. Again, I've seen snakes which have partly been frozen and they've come back bouncing, fighting fit, no issues whatsoever. A couple of things we need to address in the incubator. We've now got to warm the incubator up, but we've also got to warm up the substrate, which is the vermiculite or the water, depending on what you're using. So now we've got to warm that up, but we've also got to warm up the eggs. If I'm being honest, I still don't know if I've saved the eggs. All the animals, the snakes, are perfectly healthy, no problems whatsoever. For me, I learn by my mistakes, and I want you guys to learn by my mistakes. What I basically did with the incubator, I got another fan heater. I didn't directly put the heat element towards the eggs. I put it at the top so that the incubator's fan would suck in the hot air, push it down the bottom and bring it back round. I also upped the temperature on the thermostat. I use a heat cable, so I upped the temperature on the thermostat as well, so it enabled the heat cable to get hotter. The fan heater got the incubator up to temperature really quick, but obviously now we've got an issue. We've still got to warm up that vermiculite, we've still got to warm up the eggs internally. What do we do? Well, with that stuff, you can't do anything, I'm afraid, guys. You've just got to cross these fingers and hope for the best. I put the fan heater in there. I got the incubator up to about 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, this is the actual ambient air temperature. The temperature inside the tubs was still cooler. When I've done an incubator video before, and again, I always advise you guys to do this, you'll have bottles of water at the bottom, and a lot of people, again, I've got to ask questions, what are the bottles of water for? Well, they act like a radiator, best way to describe it. So when you open that door of the incubator and all the hot air comes out, or all the ambient air, which is normally about 88 degrees, 89 degrees Fahrenheit, comes out, and you shut the door, the bottles act as a radiator, so they hold the heat and they allow the incubator to get up to temperature quicker. What I did, I took all the bottles of water out, bear in mind they were stone cold, tipped out all the water and filled it up with, as not boiling water, hot water. They worked then like hot water bottles, pardon the pun, but that's exactly what they was. That basically was the key to the incubator stabilizing itself. So above the water bottles was obviously a grid, and then on top of that grid was all the egg boxes stacked on top of each other. So with the water bottles being in there, it acted like a radiator, which obviously hot air rises. The heat cable on a little bit warmer than normal, but also now we've got the hot water bottles, which enabled it to stay at about 91 to 92 degrees Fahrenheit, which was, trust me guys, even now I still don't know if the babies in there are going to make it until today. I'm going to cut a clutch today and we're going to see if the babies have made it, basically. Fingers crossed, I really hope they have. The reason for me doing this video is it's not all good, guys, but the good does outweigh the bad. I can tell you the enjoyment that I get from this is just amazing, but the bad times really do hit hard, and I want you guys to learn from this. I'm not someone just running around, you know, pretending that this has happened and if it does, get this and get that. This is genuine, guys. This is something that's happened. So for me, the snakes are all healthy, they're fine, but this is a good thing to show you guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut a clutch open and we're going to have a look, and fingers crossed the babies are all okay.